G'day guys and girls, Ethan Bentley here, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful day, and welcome to Chapter 1, Episode 1 of my first monthly devlog, where you'll get to follow along and watch me learn how to create an animated short from scratch. This will include scripting, storyboarding, concept art, 3D modeling, sculpting, texturing, animation, sound design, compositing, whatever you can think of that's in an animation. I'll have to do it all, and I'll be doing it all myself. So the plan's to upload a monthly video that is a development highlight, time-lapse mostly, that'll include like the failings, the summary of what I've done and what I've learned and accomplished for each month. In this episode I'll be going over the script writing process. There's a possibility I'll do some concept art or asset design, but I don't think that will end up happening because it's already the 2nd of November, which is the following month. So while the time-lapse of me concepting goes, it's just a motorbike design that I was trying to figure out because I'm a 3D modeler primarily. The rest of it is new. But I'll tell you all about the story that this short will be. So the animation's about a person who's searching for someone. The short starts in a clean tunnel with a low down shot of the protagonist riding a motorcycle at speed through that tunnel. That tunnel ends, the asphalt fades away into a rough dirt terrain. The road at this part of the tunnel has been abandoned. The motorcycle rider drifts to a hard stop, and as the dust settles, you see the road end and drop off into a cliff. In the distance, you see an imposing structure like a spaceship or a big building. It's floating. The structure hovers above a small, barely lit town with minimal activity. The protagonist reaches into his backpack, pulls out a pair of binoculars, and stares intently through them at the energy beam. That's where this animation will end, but hopefully if it's successful I'll be able to continue the story and create a little trilogy. I've already started on the second part, which you'll see as part of the script. The actual story is there for me. During the first section I have to learn a lot of new things. So because the story is constantly changing, the final script will probably vary heaps, but this will give you an idea of what to expect in the first part of the animation that I'll release. So I thought I'd break down how scripts are written instead of showing you what I did. So I'll explain how they work and then I'll show you in a time-lapse what mine was. So to break down how scripts are written, they're broken into a few sections. I use the Into the Spider-Verse script as my major reference, as well as The Incredibles when writing my own, because they're the best, in my opinion, American animations ever made. And they suit the two very different animation styles, but they're still excellent stories. So let's take a look at how they work. The reference that I have up right now is Into the Spider-Verse, and to start off a sequence, it will begin with the sequence number and title. So this one's sequence 73, Why Am I So Sweaty, and then SWT for short. Then there's a slug line, also known as a scene heading or a subheading, which is in all caps, and in this example bold. It contains the location information, so in this case it's an interior scene, INT, interior, EXT for exterior. Visions Academy is the name of the building, and the hallway is the specific location in the building. The time here is also named, which is day, as you can see. Then underneath that you have the action line, which describes in present tense who and what is in the scene. It typically contains more info in animations and less in live action scripts. And then in this example, the dialogue comes directly after the action line. Since Miles has already been introduced in the script, it's just his name centered above the dialogue. Character names are always in all caps when they're in a script. And then next to Miles' name, and next to all names before a dialogue, it will say either VO or OS. VO means voiceover, so the character's voice is heard but not from his mouth, typically because they are off-screen in a different scene. It's a voiceover. If it's left blank like later in the script, it's standard dialogue, which means it's coming from their mouth and they're in the scene. And if OS or off-screen is next to the name, then the character is present in the scene, but not in the scene at the moment, not on the screen, sorry. There's a little more to reading and writing scripts, but those are the basics, and my script is mostly dialogueless, so I need very little of what a major Hollywood animation needs. So now we'll get on to my script. So I started by formatting the file. I'm using an application called Notion for all my scripting purposes. It's not designed for scripting, but I have all my project notes in it, and it helps me keep them all in one place. So I also have my script for this episode, and I have all of my art ideas and all of that. It's pretty good. I'll leave a link in the description down below for Notion. It is also free. But the writing began. I had a rough idea of the ideas I wanted to convey, so I wrote them down using the Spider-Verse and Incredible scripts for formatting help, and to reference how detailed I was meant to be going. Because there's no dialogue in my script, it was difficult to keep the action lines as short as they are in in Spider-Verse and The Incredibles, but I'll need to go back and add in when there's proper location changes and cuts, and I'll need to adapt and change my script as well. As you can see, the first sequence is pretty short, so I started work on the second sequence, which will be part of my second animation, but I quickly realized I hadn't fleshed out enough of the details of the story to fully write the second section, so I ended up ending it on a fight scene. I think the script's a little too descriptive of the environments and actions, but I'm unsure how to balance this because there's no dialogue, so I can't really add anything else. The Spider-Verse script that I showed before was primarily dialogue and maybe 3 or 4 sentences that was in an action line, so that's something that I'm going to have to figure out how to balance properly. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next and what you think of the project. Thanks. Bye.